Hey everyone, welcome to the Roto Grinders Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevie TPFL. It's Friday, it's November, it's the 25th of November, it's 2016, and it's Black Friday. So if everybody is getting in their shopping, so we can go shopping on some DFS players here on the podcast. Yes, I know that was super cheesy. I didn't even write that down. I just went with it. I was fine until you started laughing. You started laughing, I died.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. It was just.
It was so cheesy. That was the best way to start a 14-game slate podcast.
Oh, yeah. 14 games. Whew.
But yeah, dude, I don't want to get into it too much, but like, I got all my shopping done for my kid on one night. I'm so proud of myself. 2 hours, me and the girlfriend split stores, and we're done. I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. I got to admit, that's some winning. That's some win right there. I was comatose on the couch. Just I don't even know what I was doing. I was watching the Sunday night game, just watching my currently winning going down, 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 and down. It's not fun.
Yeah, mine kind of did the opposite. But hey, at the end of the day, it's all that matters. A winning day is a winning day, and we move on. And I didn't get killed bringing home a 55-inch TV. I was super happy that the office is getting an upgrade from a 42 to a 55. I'm excited about that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I need to upgrade my second TV. That's the only thing that might get me up. I might have a new TV by the time you listen to this pod. I need a new second TV, so we'll see if I can pull that off.
Best day of the year to do it. But
I know.
We have 14 basketball games. We're done rambling. If you guys haven't checked out our sponsor, rosters.com, head on over there, check them out. Use promo code Grinders. That way you guys get incentives here at Roto Grinders. Also, there's always cool promos that these sites run. If you sign up to the Roto Grinders link, then that way you guys can get involved in those promos. So make sure you guys use that promo code Grinders. We have 14 games. We'll have some rosters value plays at the end, but we have a lot to talk about here. And we're going to start with my Orlando Magic, Washington visiting. We have a 202 total here. Washington favored by 1. The only injury news in this game that we're looking at is Otto Porter is questionable here. It's the only 7 o'clock game, so it's interesting because
I have another injury news. Unless you have an update on Markieff Morris that I don't have.
He's probable.
I have questionable. Did not practice Tuesday.
Hold on. He threw me off because I had written down that he was probable. He practiced. Yeah, it was Tuesday. It was a precaution. He is probable for Friday.
All right. Well, keep an eye on that. At the very least. Yeah.
He played Monday. He played like 26 minutes. He came back.
Yeah, but that was against Phoenix. You think he was going to miss that game?
No.
Honestly, though, this game is kind of just it's a pace-up game for the Magic, but outside of Evan Fournier, it's just like I never know where to go with the Magic. They do all these inconsistent things, and it gets frustrating. Like they play around with Vucevic's minutes for no reason, and they play around with Serge Ibaka's minutes because they spent all that money on Bismack, and it made no sense. I kind of think this game was a stay away.
I like both shooting guards in this game. I like Fournier and I like Bradley Beal. I like both guards in this game. Wall could obviously have a good game. He's probably going to have a good game, but he's 9,600 on FanDuel. That makes him tough to play, in my opinion, with so many other top point guards playing in games. I'm going to stick to the point guards here, the shooting guards.
I'm just not chasing Bradley Beal like 34 and 42 real life points. You're paying 1,000 more than you were a week ago. I think it's a perfect fade spot.
Yeah, shooting guard outside of the top guys that we'll talk about, obviously, but like shooting guard in the $6,000 price range, I think Beal is definitely in play here.
Oh, interesting. There's a couple guys I kind of like, so that's interesting. We'll talk about that.
That's it, right? I know we're not going to try to go too fast, but this game, I don't mind Gortat, but centers. There's a couple centers that we're going to talk about. Oh, buddy.
Let's just say this is one of those slates where like it's the old days of basketball where the games got better the farther west you go. I think it kind of holds true on this slate. So if it feels like we're running through the early games, it's because we know we're going to spend a while on the back end.
Chicago at Philadelphia, 203.5 total here. Chicago favored by 7.5. The injury news that we have here is Embiid has already been ruled out for this game after playing 4 straight. And I think he played, 26 minutes in the last game? Got to 1 minute or 2 minute increase. He played 27 minutes in that game.
The game went to overtime, and he got a couple minutes in overtime, and then they didn't let him come back out for double overtime, and he was visibly upset.
But out already, ruled out here. We'll start with the Chicago side. Anything pique your interest here for the Bulls?
Jimmy Butler is going to go completely bonkers.
Yeah, he's so expensive, though. That's the problem.
But the problem is it's what's his steal and block floor against Philadelphia?
3.5 would be my line.
I would take the over on that. So like that's like 8 points right there before you start. And he's just the thing is with the free throws. It's the aggressiveness. 12, 14, 11 free throws. So like again, so now if you're saying like he's been averaging 10 free throw attempts a game, which is just insane. But let's just say like even if you think it's been like more closer to 8, you think that's the baseline. But even so, it's an extra 6 or 7 points there. Now we've got another 6 or 7 to add to the 7 we already had. That's 14. And now you kind of like only just need him to get like 35 others and you're kind of fine. It's a spot where the upside here is literally 70.
Yeah, he has a ton of upside in this game. And, you know, as far as points per game go, Philadelphia gives up a ton of points to small forwards, just a ton. I think second most in the league this season. So Butler's upside is ridiculous here. What are we doing with Robin Lopez? Are we finally believing this? He's still so cheap. Like, as a punt center, is he a guy we could look at here?
I think this is the spot I'm going to hop off the Robin Lopez train. I've been on it. He's just faced a lot of traditional centers lately. If you go back and look, like Denver runs a lot of bigs. The Lakers run out Mozgov. Clippers run out DeAndre. Utah runs out Gobert. And then even before that, Whiteside and Gortat. So it's just like I don't know if the minutes are as sustainable as they look. I think this is a good spot for the fade, to be honest, because Philadelphia has, outside of Okafor, they're kind of going to be small. So I don't know if the minutes are really going to be there.
Yeah, I probably will get burned if that happens, but I like the price if I'm going down at center. It's kind of it on the Bulls side. Anything on Philadelphia that you like here?
I love Philadelphia. I think there's some couple of really sneaky plays. Gerald Henderson's questionable for this game. He did not play Wednesday. If he sits again, Sir Covington, finally, we talked about it multiple times. We said the game where he shoots well will come, and the game finally came. He shot 4 for 7 from 3, and the minutes immediately returned. It was a double overtime game, but he played 46 minutes. This nonsense about Covington's not going to – if Covington's shooting the ball well, he will get on the floor for 30-plus minutes. He's still 4K. That's too low against a Chicago team. Now, is he going to have to deal with some Jimmy Butler? Maybe. They might put weight on him. So I just think Covington is just at 4K, way too cheap. We talked about price enforcing it on Wednesday. I kind of think it's a similar spot until this price increase goes up.
I like the price on FanDuel a lot, 4,400. Even if Henderson comes back at that price tag, I'll definitely take some shots there. Henderson was out with sickness, a couple extra days here. We have no idea if he's going to play or not. It is questionable. I had that written down. I forgot to mention it. Outside of that, like
I got another guy I love in this spot.
I was going to say Okafor. I wanted to get your thoughts on him. The minutes have been a little bit better. We're seeing 25, 26 minutes. We know Embiid's out. Any interest there?
For me, it's Ersan Ilyasova.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Just 4,200. He's been playing big minutes. Again, what do we like to target against Chicago? Stretch fours. What is Ersan Ilyasova? A stretch 4. The coach they've traded for him. He's been running out there big minutes. They're kind of limiting Sarge to 22 to 24 minutes here regardless. So if there's extra minutes available at the 5, they'll probably go Ersan's way. I really like the spot for Ersan Ilyasova.
We have to think Philly's playing for 2017. This team they're really limiting their minutes to the young guys, and I like the Ilyasova call for sure.
Yeah, I think this is kind of the sneaky spot to find value today. Obviously, value will probably open up, but like right now, the night before, I think this is the most clear value on the board. Charlotte
at New York, 211 total in this game. Charlotte favored by 1. The injury news here that we have to pay attention to is Cody Zeller. Joakim Noah is probable to return here in this game. We'll start with the Charlotte side. Anything pique your interest here?
Kemba.
Even on the road.
I'm playing Kemba every time out. Like, he was 7,600 against the Spurs, and I was all in. I didn't understand why people were just suddenly getting off of him. Again, it's not like Tony Parker or Patty Mills can play defense, and it's certainly not like Derrick Rose or Brandon Jennings can play defense.
Yeah, I don't mind Kemba in this game.
The total is really high for a Knicks Charlotte game. I saw 211 and realized immediately that this is going to be an under-owned game that I want to attack.
Yeah, one of the better East Coast games.
Yeah, I thought this total would be like around 202, 203. I see 211, and I'm just thinking about the how much Porzingis I can get in here as well to go with my Kemba.
I think a sneakier play today too is Nicholas Batum. Like the New York has been awful against shooting guards this season. It's been a trend that I've been paying attention to, but I think Nicholas Batum could be really sneaky here if he can get some of the open shots, few steals. Nice price tag too.
Heading into the Wednesday game, every shooting guard had gone over expected point value against the Knicks. Not like most. I mean, literally every single one.
Yeah, and it's just not a trend that people are catching on to. So Nicholas Batum under own here. I like the spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good call. We talked about that shooting guard isn't exactly a strong suit of the slate.
Yeah, it's a position that I don't really want to spend up unless I'm playing a guy like James Harden, who we'll talk about here in a few minutes. But anybody else here on the Charlotte side, even if Zeller sits, do we look at any of these big guys?
No, not really. I think it's kind of just a pass. I don't really want to be playing any Charlotte big guys. And then on the Knicks side, it's Porzingis. I really haven't been playing bigs against Charlotte all year, but I think I'm going to have to make an exception here for Porzingis. He's just playing too good right now.
Yeah, and he could do some work against Marvin Williams.
Here's a trivia question for you. How many times in his last 10 games has he taken less than 15 shot attempts?
Probably 0.
It would be 0.
Yeah, and which is crazy because like Carmelo is just like okay with this role.
I mean, basically, it's like the triangle. I mean, it's not like the triangle offense, but it's like all their shots are coming from 3 spots: Rose, Anthony, and Porzingis. Because Melo's shot attempts in his last 10, other than that game against Boston where he got hurt, he too hasn't taken less than 17 in a game. So it's just like those 3 are kind of just like eating up all the usage on this team.
Can we look at Rose in this game? We have a 211 total. Like, there's going to be some scoring in this game. Is Rose an option here?
I think he's an option for tournaments for sure. If you need to pay down at point guard, he's only 5,800 on DraftKings. And again, we talked about it. Other than that Dallas game where he just Brandon Jennings came in and played really well, Rose has taken 10 or more shots in 9 of the last 10. So like it's just a situation where the shot attempts are going to be there, and he's been giving okay on the rebounds and assist side. So yeah, I think at 5,800, he's probably a little underpriced.
Yeah, I can definitely look there. LA Clippers heading to Detroit to take on Detroit Pistons. 201.5 total here. LA favored by 6.5. Kind of a pace down game. I'll be honest with you. I don't like a lot in this game, so I'm interested to see what you like here.
Centers against Drummond are always a thing. I didn't look up what DeAndre has done against Detroit in the past.
They played earlier this season. I was super high on DeAndre, and he went for like 20 fantasy points.
What's the game blowout though?
It was the beginning of November. As we frantically try to pull up the game log here.
Yeah, he actually hasn't done too well historically. So yeah, I guess it's kind of just a situation to just avoid.
Yeah, I was super high on him in that game, and it just didn't happen. I think Blake had a good game, if I remember correctly.
Well, that would make sense. Tobias Harris is not exactly going to stop him.
Yeah, man, they're just so expensive. Blake and Paul are just so expensive.
The problem is they're just blowing all these teams out. Although lately they've kind of not blown teams out. Like they started to regress a little bit in that category, and I've been noticing it and kind of waiting to attack a spot. I don't know if this is the one though.
Yeah,
and just because it's gonna be paced down, I'd rather attack them in a pace up game. I think will be close.
Yeah, and then on the other side, like Detroit, this is definitely not a KCP game. Just for anybody that wants to know, don't have to tweet at me. This is not a KCP spot. I think this is one of the games he had less than 5 fantasy points earlier this season. I don't love anything for Detroit either. Andre Drummond in a tournament where he's going to be less than 5% owned, sure, why not?
Marcus Morris he'll be like 1%.
His price tag, I continue to play him just because of his price.
It's just like if he gets 30 minutes against whatever the Clippers throw out at the 3, if there's no if this is one of those plays that value opens up that would just immediately disappear, but this is kind of a if no value opens up type of a play.
Yeah, and that LA Pistons game was 114-82.
Yeah, let's move on to something more fun to talk about.
Oh, well, then not this game. Dallas at Cleveland, 202.5 total. Cleveland favored by 14.5. Injury news here. Darren Williams questionable, getting in some practice now. And then we know J.J. Barea is out. Devin Harris is still out with probably getting closer to getting back on the floor. Anything in this game? Is there anything that piques your interest in a game with a 14.5 line?
Kevin Love. I'm going to chase that game, obviously.
8 threes in the first quarter.
I'm just so mad. You know how many times on this podcast we've talked about just game stack Cleveland anytime they're playing a pace-up team?
Yeah, well,
I was out with friends, completely didn't think about it.
You got really mad when I sent you my lineup? I watched
the box score, and I'm just like, and you sent me your lineup, and I'm just sitting there just like, yep, even Stevie remembered to do it, and he was driving all day.
We talk about it all the time,
it's just anytime Cleveland's in a pace-up game, I'm just doing it rest of the year. Like, anytime Cleveland's in a pace-up game, I'm just investing 10% of my lineups in Cleveland in a game stack. Just doing it. Because I know where the production's going to come from Cleveland. It's those three. You think all three play in this spot?
Yeah. Well, we had a day off today or Thursday. I don't know what their schedule is for Saturday, but yeah, I would think so.
I think they play Saturday. Let me look. I got the schedule right here.
They do not play Saturday.
Oh, wow, that's a really weak. That's not that many games on Saturday.
They play Philly on Sunday, so yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess they'll all play then.
Yeah, they'll play.
Or they'll just rotate one guy out and then one guy out in Philly too.
I'm not paying the price tags for these guys in the game that this is gonna be a blowout.
The pace is too slow, right? We're not gonna have a Warriors-Lakers type situation.
No.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. So I think we should move on.
Yeah, I just don't even know any bench guys that I would take a shot on in this game either.
Oh, actually, that's not true.
Seth Curry.
I was actually going to take the other side. If you think the game blows out, I would take a shot on, and why can't I find him? Jordan McRae, 3K.
Sure.
Yeah, especially if one of them sits out. I noticed against the Pacers when LeBron sat, he got 24 minutes and took 12 shots. So for some reason that does happen, like one of those guys sits. I think McRae's going to be the guy all year that benefits in the games where one of the guards sits out.
Let's be honest, though. It's a 14-game slate. We just don't have to do it.
Here's the thing. So let's say LeBron's out. I think I would do it because there's so many superstars that we're going to get to. I want to fit in. You give me a 3K guy who's going to get 25 minutes and 12 shots, I'm probably going to have interest. I got to be honest.
Yeah, well, if we get news that LeBron's out, sure.
That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
I'm trying to give the guys useful information out here, the listeners. So, when LeBron gets ruled out, we don't get 100 tweets. We just get 90.
Oh, yeah, we'll still get 100. Atlanta at Utah, 195.5. Utah favored by 2.5 in this game. Only injury news, I still haven't seen anything on Derek Favors. I'm expecting him to be out in this game.
I think he's been ruled out.
Yeah, I think he's out for
extended period of time. So, yeah, he's not coming back.
We'll start with the Atlanta side. Anything pique your interest here?
Paul Millsap, if they play Boris Diaw at the 4.
Yeah, Dwight has a tough matchup against Gobert. I could see Millsap here.
Yeah, he's been interesting in good matchups this year. Just the minutes. Like, when they don't get blowout, the minutes have been really consistent this year. Like, last year, you had sometimes he would lose minutes to Horford thing, but this year it doesn't happen. Like, if the game's close, he's playing 33 to 37 minutes.
Yep.
And it's only 7,300. Now, it's a super paced down game on the road, but the price is also down, too. Like, you're starting to see a little bit of the dynamic pricing we saw for baseball seep into basketball. 7,300, which is a 500 price discount off of the indie game.
Yeah, I could get behind Millsap. Outside of that, though, I really don't like anything else here.
Not on the Atlanta side.
No, we're both going to like George Hill, though.
Yep. Let's see. Point guard against Atlanta. Check.
And he came back in that Denver game. He had his thumb wrapped up. Didn't stop him. 22 points in that game, 34 fantasy points. He's definitely going to be looking at in tournaments here. His usage for a point guard this season is really solid.
Yep. George Hill is to me one of my favorite plays on the slate. And I actually like Rodney Hood. Shooting guards against Atlanta has been equally bad, and he's been chucking up shots too since Favors has been out. Don't mind that.
Yeah, sure. I can get behind that. I'm not going to be playing a lot of people from this game. One of the games under 200 on this slate just it doesn't pique my interest too much.
Yeah, well, those are the only two guys I have any interest in.
Toronto at Milwaukee, 211 total in this game. Toronto favored by 3. We'll start with the Toronto side. What's your thoughts here on the Raptors?
I'm going to play DeMar DeRozan.
All right.
Haha, just kidding.
It's not April Fool's. It's Black Friday.
No, God.
They have corny jokes.
I just wanted to get the listeners to like wake up. I know they might be having their turkey comatose. You know, they're a little hungover, and I figured me saying I'd play DeMar DeRozan would wake them all right up and be like, "What?"
For people that maybe listen to the first time, I don't think me and CJ are going to play DeMar DeRozan this year. And I talked about it with Noto the other day about like the ceiling, and even in the game against Houston, he needed 9 assists to get to value. 9 assists, and I still don't think he hit value.
There's just no way.
Still didn't get 5x.
I don't mind Kyle Lowry, but like DeMar DeRozan right now is killing his upside with these shot attempts because he's making so many. The day he stops making the shots and Kyle Lowry takes 24 shots, he's going to win someone a tournament. It could be this spot if they put Giannis on DeRozan, which I'm not actually completely ruling out in this spot. If they do that, like it could be a sneaky Kyle Lowry funnel spot.
You know who's interesting here from Toronto is DeMarre Carroll.
God, yeah, I've been waiting for him to do this, and then just a couple games I just kind of couldn't make him work with value. He goes off. Again, it's a tough spot because if Giannis is on him, like you're just literally drawing dead. Like there's
Giannis is gonna guard DeRozan.
I've said this like 4 times this season, and I watch team after team after team not there put their best defender on DeRozan.
It's because nobody's afraid of him. He sucks. Just kidding. I don't want the Twitter hate too much. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're not kidding at all. That's the funny part. You're not kidding one bit. Let's just own it, Stevie. Let's just own it. We don't like DeMar DeRozan.
We've owned it all year. I thought like we haven't missed a beat with DeMar DeRozan. Like I'm having a great NBA season. I haven't played DeRozan. I played him on 1 3-game slate earlier this year. That was it.
I played him on 1 game stack, and it was the game he didn't do well. He was the problem.
Perfect. Going to the Milwaukee side, anybody that you like here?
Giannis and Jabari. Hello.
Yeah, Giannis is so expensive, though.
Don't care.
He's 10K on FanDuel. You could pay up
what?
He's 10-1. Yeah.
Wow.
So you tell me, would you pay up for him, or would you find the extra $1,600 for James Harden?
James Harden gets. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. That's easier said than done.
Wow. Yeah, but that means the problem is Jabari is going to go bonkers in this spot.
Yeah, but so play him. That's fine.
Yeah, but the correlation between those two is just so strong.
Yeah, you can't pay up for him though. I can't.
Jabari is going to go absolutely bonkers. Like just, I know that we've been on him all year. And the pricing has just, we liked him in the mid-5s, then we liked him at 6. He's at 6-7, but like, don't pick this spot to hop off. Like, don't like you remember the Pelicans game where I was all in on him and he took 26 shots. I literally might take the over on 26 shots against Pascal Siakam and Patrick Patterson. This is not going to end well.
Yeah, he's played at least 33 minutes in 7 straight games. His true usage is 26% now. Like this guy's usage continues to increase. Parker definitely in play under 7K on both major sites here. The one guy that like is a little interesting to me that we didn't talk about is Valanciunas on Toronto. Like he's another guy that I like in that mid-range center play.
Nah, I will never play him, but I have fun with. I hate Jonas Valanciunas. I have an irrational hatred for him.
He has been so awful against centers this year, though. They don't have anybody to match up with centers this year.
I get it. It's fine. I just am not playing Jonas Valanciunas. I refuse to let a good team go down because I played Jonas Valanciunas.
Anybody else from this game?
No, I think we should get on to the Mecca.
What about Deladova? If you're playing cash games, you need some.
It's a 14-game slate.
Yeah, it's true. Let's move on. Brooklyn at Indy. 215 total here, 8.5 favorites for Indy. We have some injury news here. Hollis Jefferson is questionable for Brooklyn. Serafin and CJ Miles both out for Indy. I don't know how much that Serafin news actually matters, but I did write it down. CJ Miles already ruled out for this game. We'll start with the Brooklyn side. This is interesting to me. So if Hollis Jefferson gets ruled out, Bojan, right? Like, this is the game that he could actually like be secure in some minutes.
No. I walked into this trap early in the season. They put Paul George on him. Don't do that. Okay. I walked into this trap. I said the exact same thing you did, and they just stuck Paul George on him the entire game and shut him down.
So maybe
cannot play Bojan.
Maybe Kilpatrick then?
Yes. Play anybody else. Play Kilpatrick. Play Joe Harris. Play whichever one of those other wings you want. Do not play Bojan Bogdanovic.
I just think the minutes would be a little bit more secure there. If
there was an injury the first time too. Like the minutes were supposed to be super secure, and they just stuck Paul George on him, and he just could not make a shot.
Anybody else from Brooklyn here?
Brook Lopez is still just an absolute beast. I just don't know what to say. Like he had a bad game against Boston and put up 27.
Brook Lopez, his true usage rate is 30.4% this season. DeMarcus Cousins, 35%. Brook Lopez has the second highest usage rate among centers that are qualified. I think Embiid, if he actually qualified, would be higher. But Brook Lopez, 30% true usage rate is just nuts.
Yeah, he was on the minutes limit when these teams played the first time, and he still put up 32 DK points in 25 minutes.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind Brook Lopez here. People aren't catching on to like how much this guy is actually being used on the offensive side.
Miles Turner is in a great spot too. God, the minutes are fine. The games are like even in blowouts now. The minutes have been fine.
Yeah, I've been burned by him so much this year. I hadn't realized that he's been secure in minutes lately.
Yeah, and it's been like I mean, shout out to. The guy, I can't say his name on air, but the guy who got me onto that it was all foul trouble. You know who you are. Like, it's all been foul trouble. If he's not in foul trouble, he's been playing 30 plus.
I've been using Thaddeus Young every once in a while. I don't mind this spot for him. Paul George is always decent for cash games. The guy has a high floor, but not really high ceiling. And with CJ Ellis out, I don't mind Jeff Teague in this game either. CJ Miles.
Yeah, I mean, we love Teague. He's always a play. What's he on FanDuel?
69. They bumped up his price finally.
Yeah, but he's still underpriced over there compared to DraftKings, so I'd probably grab most of my Teague exposure over there. This is a sneaky game stack too. Like this game could shoot out, but you'd have to find the right spot on Brooklyn to go with. It would be Brook Lopez and like it probably would be Brook Lopez and I just don't know.
Kilpatrick.
But the problem is his minutes have been awful until that blowout game.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just Brolo.
Maybe they'll finally decide to just play Trevor Booker 30 minutes like they should. Can they just do that, please?
Probably not.
I'm going to have like 15% Trevor Booker if I end up playing the slate. I just like scripting the slate. It's just he's there like one of their best players and they play him no minutes. I don't understand.
Any interest in Rodney Stuckey with CJ Miles out?
People sharper than me will like him. I don't know. I can't imagine playing Rodney Stuckey, though.
All right, let's move on to one of the barn burners. Miami at Memphis, 189.5 total. Memphis -6 in this game, but we actually have a lot of injury news we need to pay attention to here. Dion Waiters, questionable. The Dragic is questionable. Ennis is out, and Parsons is questionable at best. Even with all this injury news here, Justin Winslow, I think, is out too. I don't think he's going to play. Yeah, he's already been ruled out as well. Even with all this injury news, is there anything we can play in this super slow-paced defensive game?
Did you get Jordan Dragic questionable?
Yeah, that's what I said, the elbow for the Dragon.
Well, I mean, if the Dragon's out, you have to play someone. You're going to have to play either Tyler Johnson or Josh Richardson or Dion Waiters or Rodney Magruder.
Yeah,
you're going to have to play one.
Waiters is questionable too.
Right, but I'm saying if he plays, right? Like, yeah. You're going to have to play one of these guys, especially if they both sit. Then it's just like you got to play multiple.
Well, if they both sit, then Tyler Johnson, I think, becomes one of the better value plays on the slate.
I hate Tyler Johnson chalk. It's like the guy's never worked out. I'll play Josh Richardson instead. I'll go down with that boat. James Johnson's been one of my sneaky small forward value plays all year, and all he does is just crush. The moment that one of these guys sits, I'd be back on board too. No James Ennis to worry about on the defensive end for James Johnson, so that'd be a really nice bump for him offensively.
Yeah, and if you have Roto Grinders rankings, I feel like me and you're the only two people that rank Johnson, James Johnson, that is.
Yeah, and it's just like every day I'm like, Stevie's on him too. All right, good. We're still good. But Vince Carter too had his worst day of the year. Played 39 minutes though, and the minutes are going to be consistent. He's still free, and he's shooting guard and small forward eligible. If you're trying to punt that shooting guard's position away, he's still viable.
Oh, it's 2016, and we're still talking about Vince Carter. What about the richest man in the NBA, Mike Conley?
He's fine. The guy I actually want to talk about, and it might not necessarily be for today, but Andrew Harrison, they demoted Wade Baldwin they sent him down to the D-League, which I thought was a really interesting thing. Early in the season, he was getting big minutes, and they kind of he lost the job very quickly, and they demoted him to the D-League. Andrew Harrison's the backup. He's 3.1. I'm going to read you his minutes since they decided that Wade Baldwin was going to be cut out of the rotation. 26, 26, 26, 24, 24. And then the 42 in the double overtime game. He's 3K. That's all I'm saying. If you're trying to fit in some superstars.
I wish it wasn't against Miami in this slow-paced game.
Yeah, I definitely wish so too, but it's going to be a little faster if the Dragon's out.
Yeah, sure. Any interest in the GOAT side before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
Not the spot, right? This is just not the spot.
What about Marcus Saul?
I don't know if this is just – I think this is just a stay-away game.
Yeah, I could definitely – all right, let's stop talking. Let's just stop trying to force things. You're right.
All right, West Coast games. Here we go.
There we go. Fire time, yeah. The man, if you guys were just a little comatose warming up to the podcast, make sure you're awake now. Make sure you got your coffee ready to roll because these are the important games.
Minnesota at Phoenix, 213 total here. TJ Warren already ruled out. Tyson Chandler questionable because of the personal. We just don't know with Tyson Chandler. So hopefully we get news earlier in the day. He's been away from the team for quite a bit now. We don't know what's going to happen here with Tyson Chandler. If he is out, Alex Lynn's been a good value play, my friend.
Yeah, he's still a fine option. I'm starting to wonder, though, if he has a ceiling.
I don't think he does. I think he's more of a cash game play that's just a really solid value play.
Yeah, I think he's fine as a tournament option. Just know that he's his ceiling is 7x, which is fine, but he's never going to go for 45. Just with all these other guys on Phoenix taking shots. It's not like last year where he was just more of a focal point.
Yeah, and Alan Williams. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that again. He burned me last time out.
That's fine. You know what we're going to do? We're going to fade him again and again and again, and he can join DeMar DeRozan on the list.
What are we doing with the guard situation here? They've been running out 3 guards. Eric Bledsoe, not bad. Devin Booker and Brandon Knight. They've been rolling out all 3 here. Any interest in any of these guys?
No, I have to go back and watch the tape. I wanted to see who the first guard off the floor was, and I forgot to go look. So
I'm sure it's Knight if I had to guess.
Yeah, Knight's ever since he came in the lineup though, Knight's just been getting murdered by just the lack of usage. So honestly, for me, it's kind of a stay away unless we get another guy ruled out. Don't mind Devin Booker. If he gets hot, he'll get going. He just hasn't shot the ball well this year. But Zach LaVine defense can get anybody going.
It can. Little interest in PJ Tucker. I love punting small forward. James Johnson, PJ Tucker. These guys that are just so cheap that I can punt with, I'm good for it.
The price has gone up a little bit and the minutes have gone down. And he might have to be now in this spot though, he might have to play a ton of minutes on Andrew Wiggins. So that's actually probably a boost to PJ Tucker now that I think about it. Yeah,
and if, like you were saying, first guy off the court, and maybe Knight, Tucker gets some extra run here, more usage with that second.
Tucker might start. Can we talk about that? Tucker probably will start in this game.
I wouldn't hate that. Then I would probably shift a little bit of my ownership to Knight.
I mean, they're not going to – let's just talk this out. they're not going to put Devin Booker on Wiggins, right? They're not going to try that.
Well, they might try it, but it's not going to end well.
It'll be 2 quick fouls on Devin Booker, kill all the Suns' offense, and the game will be a 30-point blowout before you know it. They'll start PJ Tucker unless they just completely lost their minds.
All right, let's start with the other side here. Cat. Oh, Cat. Oh man, this is a good. Spot. This is a good spot for Cat.
I'm off Cat. I actually might not play Cat for a long time. There's reports out of Minnesota that his teammates are frustrated with him, and you can kind of see it on the floor. Kind of just doing like not running the offense, doing some Hollywood things. You know, like there was that vine of him just like dribbling between his legs 3 times and taking the jump shot, and you can just see his teammates disgusted on the floor. I'm not touching him, not at this top end price point.
What about Levine? Levine's the guy that I have written down here for Minnesota that I have a lot of interest in. Andrew Wiggins, like you said, if he gets PJ Tucker on him, Levine should have a really good spot, really good game here.
Yeah, I like Zach LaVine for tournaments for all the reasons you just mentioned. Wiggins' usage will probably flow to Zach LaVine or even Ricky Rubio. I don't mind at 6K either. He could get an interesting usage bump as well.
Any interest in the Gorgeous Dong?
I wonder if he's going to get forced off the floor in this game.
That's my issue too. Yeah,
the price is kind of getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah, hopefully he has another bad game here tonight, and we can play him in a better matchup where he is a little bit cheaper. Did you see a line in the Oakland-Denver game? That's the next game up. We have a little bit of injury news here, but I didn't see a line for this game yet.
No, I don't have one. I think they're waiting on the Gallinari news.
Yeah, that's the news I was going to mention. That's the news we're paying attention to here in this Denver game. Gallinari questionable. Oh. Yeah, and then Harris is out, and then Hernan Gomez. I'm going to get that name right by the end of the year. Anyway, he's already been ruled out for this game as well, and he got the start against Utah with Gallinari out. All I'm saying, on the Denver side, all the Wilson Chandler here.
So how much is all? Just to, like, in case our listeners are not all summer none people, all means 100%, right?
Yeah, any lineup that I'm building today is going to have Wilson Chandler.
Okay, just making sure, because if you'd said 99%, I would have taken the over.
Yeah, it's already a good matchup for Wilson Chandler, and yeah,
just good luck. I mean, they'll try to put Andre Roberson on him, but good luck. So where are the minutes going to go from Hernan Gomez?
They're going to go to Wilson Chandler.
Okay, but he's going to be maxed out. Like I know he played 25 minutes in that Utah game, but like realistically, he was going to play 36 minutes anyways. Like, I wonder if Fareed's going to get his minutes back.
Maybe.
If Oklahoma City plays Jeffrey Lavergne and Steven Adams, they're going to need 2 bigs, and they've already kind of just shown their unwillingness to play Jokic and Nurkic together. And there's no reason to downsize with no Gallinari in the lineup if he's out.
It really depends on Gallinari.
Yeah, Gallinari would really need to be out for me to consider Fareed. I'm done with Moutier. That guy's burned me like.
He does so well, and then he has these 2 like flops in a row, and it's just like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
he's gonna go off in the spot against Westbrook too. Just watch, he's gonna rise to the occasion and just go for 50, and I'm just gonna be laughing. But
I do like him in tournaments. It's hard not to like him in tournaments.
I know I said I was done with him, but I clearly meant after he busts tonight on my teams.
Yeah, like, so he's the definition of a tournament play. He's going to get you 4 fantasy points or 40. Like, and that's what he's done in the last 4 games. He's had a 3.5 and a 42.7. Like, he's the definition of a tournament play.
All right, so Will Barton just lost all his minutes because Jamal Murray couldn't miss, right?
I don't know. I worry about Will Barton's minutes just because I feel like they're trying to be careful with him.
Just like
they really like that Murray kid.
Yeah, but I mean, he can
look at Murray's game log too. He
finally made some shots. Like, it's just like if he can't shoot though, he literally can do nothing on the floor. And he's one of those guys. He's kind of like Covington. Like, if he's not making baskets, he will not be on the floor very long.
Another tournament play. The only thing that I don't like about him on FanDuel is he's a point guard. Not going to use him at a point guard position.
He's point guard on DraftKings too.
Yeah, 14 game slate.
Game stacks, like, because we still have to talk about the other side of this game, and we know that the other side of this game has some obvious game stack plays.
Yeah, let's talk about Oklahoma City.
Oh, by the way, Nurkic is a really good play. Like, just because we know that Adams is going to be on the floor, we shouldn't just ignore Nurkic here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play him on a big game, on a big slate either. Like
against Steven Adams, you have to. Adams has been bad defensively this year. Like, just everyone's just been going off on the guy.
I don't know, man. Oklahoma City, #1 team in DVP against centers this year.
That's because Enes Kanter exists, not because of Steven Adams.
Okay. Well, that's the whole DVP. That drives me insane.
Didn't Boogie just go bonkers on them?
Yeah, well, Boogie's Boogie, dude.
And then before that, Drummond went off on him. Whatever. That feels like really wrong, but I'm sure it's right, but no way it's actually accurate.
Oh, it could definitely be wrong. There's 2 #1s on the chart today, so it definitely could be wrong.
Okay, then.
Yeah, good old have to send the Roto Grinders team a message after this. Anyway, looking at the other side of this game, Russell Westbrook is very good at basketball. I like Oladipo a lot in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to be very heavily invested in Oladipo in this spot today. We talked about it. You know, the shooting guard's weak on the spot. We know Oladipo's got a huge ceiling. The minutes haven't gone down since they brought that backup point guard back. That was my only concern with him, really. And now it's just, you know, if he shoots the ball well, he's going to put up big numbers at this price point. He should be a guy who's going to be in the 7,500 range most of the year, but he's not there yet because he was so bad shooting for the first month and a half. Awful. And it was just awful. And so, like, we can still capture the rise a little bit. Are we a little late to the party? Sure, but we're not too late. We can enjoy some beverages on the way up to the top.
Anybody else here from Oklahoma City?
Well, there's this guy called Russell Westbrook we should talk about.
Oh, well, I don't even feel like – so, honestly, Russell Westbrook is in play every slate. Like, I don't even feel like we need to talk about him anymore. You just play the guy.
Andre Roberson's interesting if you need a small forward shooting guard punt. Been playing solid minutes.
Sure.
That's my only case for him. He plays solid minutes. And he's in a high-paced game.
Sure. No issue with that
and whatsoever. They keep yelling at him to shoot more even though he doesn't like to shoot.
No issue with that whatsoever. Let's move on. New Orleans at Portland. 219 total in this game. Portland favored by 4. The interesting news here is Dante Cunningham has already been ruled out for this game. Terrence Jones should get the start in this game. With that being said, if Terrence Jones gets the start in this game, I love the value for Terrence Jones in this game.
Terrence Jones. Isn't this the game where Brow went for like 70 or 80 the first? Yeah, he went for 70 the first time these teams met. And I don't know when that game was, but that was last week. So this was a game in which there was Ed Davis and Mo Harkless as the 4s. And that went basically as well as you thought it would.
Yeah, I definitely like Anthony Davis in this game. One of the top plays on the board. Like, with point guard so stacked, it's going to be interesting decisions here on tonight's slate because there's a game that we haven't even got to that has a 233 total. Like, that's how crazy and insane this 14-game slate is.
Just Terrence Jones, Anthony Davis, they're fine options. You know who's been really good, even with the return of Jrue Holiday, is Tim Frazier. The shot attempts are going to not be there forever, and the price jump on DraftKings isn't worth it. But just do keep an eye on him. If he's going to keep playing 30 minutes when his price gets low, he might be a good tournament option, but not today.
I like him on FanDuel at 5,400.
Yeah, I would definitely play him at that price. 57 on DraftKings is kind of where I draw the line.
Yeah, because I think Jrue Holiday is right around that same price, right?
Jrue Holiday's 6,700. I can't touch him there.
Yeah.
It just until I see him get like 30-plus minutes consistently. I want to play him. I've played him a couple times already just because, but I just can't roster him consistently until I see him.
He went bonkers in this Portland game in 23 minutes last time out.
Oh, yeah, he did, isn't it? Was that 21-2-7? Yeah, this is
I'm telling you right now, if Terrence Jones gets the start, he's one of the best value plays on the board.
God, this game, we talked about game stacks. Like, this game has, and, you know, on the other side, Lillard and McCollum just.
Oh, this game has a ton of game stack potential.
The price is why is Damian Lillard under 9K? Like, why?
Because he had a few bad games.
But he just went for 69 and
no,
his
I know,
went down.
But the 5 games before that is he had like what? 37 was the highest.
Oh, so yeah, he was due for a little regression. Back to the mean. Cool
No,
story.
but I'm saying we wonder why his price came down. That's the only thing that I can think of.
Just 219 total, and this game's in Portland too. Just give me all the Damian Lillard.
Yeah, don't forget CJ McCollum either. This guy is definitely in a good spot here.
Yeah, he's actually got. Oh wow, he's actually improved his numbers at home this year too. So that's good news too. Yeah, don't even mind. I don't even hate Mo Harkless in this spot too because Solomon Hill's going to play defense on him.
And one other guy, let's throw Mason Plumlee out there. This game has a ton of potential.
Yeah, we told you that the good games were coming. We weren't disappointing.
Man, I'd love Terrence Jones if he starts in this game. Gosh, with Cunningham out, I feel like that news is going to go overlooked too. Like we have a 14-game slate.
Here's the problem though. What's his price? Like
he's only 5,100 on FanDuel.
Oh yeah, way better. He's 58 on DK.
5,100 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I would just lock on all my exposure over there where you need two power forwards.
Yeah, man. All right, let's move on. Golden State at LA taking on the Lakers. We just seen this game like 2 nights ago. Russell has already been ruled out. He's out for a couple weeks. They're saying the injury news that we really need to pay attention to is Nick Young is questionable and Julius Randle is questionable. If Nick Young sits, that should lock in all the minutes for Clarkson and Lou Williams.
I think Randall's going to sit a while. Like I watched him play that Oklahoma. He tried to play that Oklahoma City game, and he was just not right. Like I think he's going to sit for a bit.
Yeah, but like we expected, like Larry Nance to get minutes in that game, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I really think the only guys in play here are the Warriors' big three because we saw they can go for 100 points in 3 quarters.
Yeah, I think Lou Williams and Clarkson are definitely in play too. Their price tags on FanDuel both still super cheap.
Golden State's not going to sit someone here, are they?
I doubt it.
You sure?
I don't know. We just had a night off.
In LA? What could possibly go wrong? And they play tomorrow night at home.
Yeah, I don't know. They could.
What's the total here? 14?
Well, hold on. They could definitely sit Draymond Green because he's already banged out. He got poked in the eye the other night, right?
I'm just saying, this line is only 13, and they just won by 45 2 days ago. No Russell. I'm just saying, this is a little fishy.
A good spot for Draymond to take a day off here with his eye injury.
Could be a good spot for Durant to take a day off, having to play against Andrew Wiggins tomorrow night. Keep an eye out. I wouldn't be I want to play the Golden State guys, but let me just say, if there's no report out before lock, I will not do it.
I'm definitely going to have exposure to Curry. I don't care, report or not.
That's probably the one guy I'd be okay doing.
And Clay. I doubt Clay sits.
Yeah, Clay. I don't think Clay's going to sit in LA.
If you're playing cash games, man, Clay is still only 6,000 on FanDuel, and like he's been putting up that 5x that you need on a nightly basis lately.
Yeah, he's only 6,200 on DraftKings. Like you tell me this 6K tier is so weak at shooting guard, and we've been naming name after name after name in this 6K tier.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't write down more guys. Do you have any interest in Lou Williams and Clarkson here? Just burned us in the spot the other night, but
I just don't know what the minutes are going to be. They're kind of like playing Russian roulette over there with minutes.
Yeah, but they got mashed in that game.
But it's not just this game. It's been like this whole season.
Yeah, I'm going to probably go back to the well on Clarkson and probably go back to the well on Lou Williams.
Just a 14-game slate. I don't know if I need to do it.
Clarkson under 5K on FanDuel just seems too cheap.
Oh, well, okay. That I could I could price enforce that for sure.
You could play him and Victor Oladipo and
Stars and Scrubs night over there on FanDuel, boys.
It sure
Stars
is.
and Scrubs. And the winning score is going to be through the roof.
Last game of the night and my favorite game stack of the night. 215 total here. Houston at Sacramento. Only a 3-point favorite on the Houston side. Like James Harden, they have nobody that's going to stop him. And DeMarcus Cousins, they have nobody that's going to stop him.
Boogie's under 10K on DraftKings.
Oh, man. Like, there's so much goodness in this game. Let's start with the Houston side. I kind of led into James Harden. This is an excellent spot for him.
He should get the Russell Westbrook treatment. If we don't have to bring up Russell Westbrook, we shouldn't have to bring up James Harden.
I just had to say he's an excellent spot. That's all I'm saying.
And the Kings may or may not be bad against all forms of guards.
Kings may just be bad in general.
No, that's true too. I don't mind, if you want to play Ryan Anderson or something, I guess the price is starting to get a little bit to insanely low levels now. 4,700. He went off against the Kings in this spot last year. Like, oh, that's right. He's from Sacramento. He goes off against the Kings every year. Hold on. Time to pull this up. I just remembered a narrative. Ryan Anderson, DK points by game in Sacramento. Hopefully I can get all the road games here. It's not going to points by game for Sacramento. He goes completely bonkers. I remember I rostered him last year, and he went completely bonkers. Hold on.
You rostered Ryan Anderson more than everybody else anyway.
Put up 42 last year in 28 minutes, 29 real-life points, and then 32, 55 last year. I'm going to play all the Ryan Anderson in tournaments. I completely forgot about this, and it's amazing. The price is just who's going to cover him? Who's going to cover him at the 3-point line? Matt Barnes when they finally go small, but he might pull a Kevin Love by that point.
The thing is, I definitely think this is a good spot to move off of Capella onto Ryan Anderson because Capella's price is finally starting to catch up.
Yeah, and it's a bad spot against Boogie. Like foul trouble has always been a problem for this guy.
So I feel like this is the one time we can actually pivot off of Capella, and I've been playing him a ton. So like, it's nothing against this guy. I actually like him a lot.
Good spot for him to do bad, so you can hop on the next day.
Sure, I can definitely get behind that. Anybody else from the Houston side that you like here?
I don't mind Trevor Ariza, but it's certainly James Harden 1A, and then kind of like Ryan Anderson's in tier 2, and then everybody else is kind of in their own tier 3.
Sacramento side of this game, I definitely like DeMarcus Cousins.
Boogie! I just had to say that. I love Boogie.
The last time me and you talked about Cousins, you couldn't get behind my call for 70 fantasy points, just saying. I think that was last Friday, too.
And he went for 74. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't against Oklahoma City where they put up 58.
No, I'm positive because I got like 100 tweets that night. Like,
yeah,
how did you know Cousins was going to put up 100 points? I just, hey.
The price was the price. I got on board because of the price on DraftKings. He was 9,300. Of course, I played Boogie at 9,300.
Sometimes you just nail things, and that was one of those times.
Yeah, well, Boogie might go for over 65 in this spot, if not 70.
Yeah, this is a good Boogie spot. Good Boogie spot.
Yeah, don't get ejected, Boogie, please. It's kind of like Ryan. It's kind of like the Anthony Davis getting hurt. Just no ejection whammy. No ejection whammy.
Don't do it to us.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Anyway, anybody else that you like here from the Kings?
What's going on with the Darren Collison and Ty Lawson minutes? Have they figured that out yet?
Darren Collison has been playing solid minutes. I think this is a good spot to use Collison.
Yeah, you assume that they're gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, he's not gonna. I mean, I guess he might try to cover James Harden. That would probably be a problem. But yeah, I can't imagine they're gonna put Patrick Beverley on him, right?
Yeah, sure. They might, but
it's tournament games. He's perfect for a tournament game stack.
Oh gosh, like we love shooting guards against Houston, but like, do we really take a shot on a follow, or do we just like maybe take a shot on Rudy Gay?
I think you just take the shot on Rudy Gay, right?
God,
it's only 7K.
I could totally see tomorrow night. We're sitting around watching the games. It's around 11:30 Eastern time, and we're just instantly tilting Aaron Aflalo like 3 or 4 threes in a row.
Yeah, it's like a 17-7 start, timeout Houston, and we're just like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, like he does that. He used to play for the Magic. Like
Stevie, now I'm going to have 5% Aaron Aflalo, and when those teams bust, it's all your fault.
No, I'm still not playing. I'm just saying, like, I could totally see it happen.
If you're game stacking the game, how do you not put one? How do you not put him on one?
Sure. One team. One team.
Yeah, you know how many teams he would have been on before you brought his name up? 0. So that's one team I'm not getting back.
The one team that scores like 360 and you're like, oh man, I got a follow
here at
5 points.
9 FanDuel points. Yeah, exactly.
Anything else in this game before we move on?
No, but we told you all the good games were late.
Oh yeah, the West Coast games. Don't be afraid if
good
you're
late slate too.
Yeah, if you're way behind the cash line here tonight, don't be afraid if you're on that in the late game. So rosters value plays, let's move on to those. If you guys haven't checked out our sponsor, rosters.com, make sure you head on over there, check them out. Use promo code Grinders. Every day we give out 3 guys that we like under 10K on rosters. You have your guys ready?
I do. Do you have yours ready to go?
I do. Let's see how many we have total on the same here, and I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, George Hill, 9,400. I don't. That's way too cheap for him. I'm sure that you're on board with that. A guy we just talked about, Ryan Anderson at 9K. That's too cheap for Ryan Anderson. And then the third guy I was a little torn on. I had a couple options I was choosing between, and I eventually ended up choosing a guy that I'm probably going to regret choosing, but Ersan Ilyasova at 7,000. It's just too cheap.
Yeah, definitely like that price tag. I'm going to LA for 2 of my 3 value plays here. Clarkson 9K, Lou Williams 7,900. I'm living and dying by these guys. I've been doing it.
Don't do it, Stevie. All right, I got all day to talk you off of this ledge. Like, there's so many good shooting guard options. Like, don't live or die by the Lakers deciding like Russian roulette when they're down 25.
I'm gonna live or die by Clarkson, baby. Last guy I have here at 9,100 is Moutier. We talked about him being an ultimate tournament play. 9,100 over there. He can easily get you that 40-point mark, give you the 4 or 5x that you're looking for, and be the guy that wins you a tournament, or be a guy that gets you 3 points and loses you the tournament.
Yeah.
That's it, man. 14 games. I'm exhausted. I all the turkey, all the ham, and shopping. I'm ready for bed.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, I want to mention one thing. We talked about the football a lot yesterday when we did the podcast. One thing that I've kind of changed my mind on since we have a second here, Jay Ajayi, me and you really got into debate about him, and I really liked him. I was on that side of liking him a lot. Pouncey got rolled out on Thursday afternoon. Without Pouncey, that really hurts that offensive line, and I'm not as high. I'm going to have some exposure to Jay Ajayi, but I'm not going to be playing him in cash games. I finally turned off my Jay Ajayi love.
All right, there we go. Welcome aboard.
If Pouncey was playing, definitely wouldn't have changed my mind, but with Pouncey out, I wanted to mention on the podcast while we're still live here, but with Pouncey being out, that's a huge hit to Ajayi.
Yeah, don't forget, if you haven't listened to the football podcast, make sure you listen to it all the way to the end. We only have 1 of the 3 answers so far, so or 2. Did they get your answer, Stevie?
No, nobody knows what pie I made last night.
Yeah, no one knows the pie, his favorite pie, or the pie he made. Someone actually, one of my friends, wisely looked at my Snapchat and then responded.
Well, all you had to do, like, if you look at my Tolleson, like tweets from last night's tilt, you could figure out what my favorite kind of pie is. I tweeted out that I might be having another piece of this pie, so there you go. Hashtag RGMG, and then guess what kind of pie I made last night, and that'll be the 2 listeners that we play against this week. But for CJ, I'm Stevie. That's going to do it here for the Morning Grind podcast for this week. We'll be back on Monday. Good luck in your contest this weekend. Good luck in your NBA contest tonight, and we'll see you then.